Good evening. I flew in yesterday from Washington, D.C., so I could come here tonight and tell you why Wolcott is so incredibly important to me. My name is Tessa Martin, and I graduated from Wolcott in 2016 as a member of the first graduating class. I then earned my undergraduate degree at Wake Forest University in North Carolina and my master's in special education from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I am currently a special education teacher, and I can tell you with complete certainty that none of that would have happened without Wolcott. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 7 years old. My oldest sister is also dyslexic, so my family knew what to look for. What they didn't know was that I would quickly be labeled as not that smart by teachers. I have an early memory from elementary school that I think about a lot, popcorn reading, which I'm sure a lot of us remember, but it's when every student in the class has to read aloud one paragraph or sentence in order, otherwise known as my worst nightmare. I would count how many students were ahead of me and count how many sections it would take until it would be mine. I would then silently read it over and over and over again until I feel like I could say it without stumbling. I was so focused on that one section that I never heard a single word anyone else said. That's what learning felt like for me. Not participating, but developing skills for survival. I knew by 5th grade that I had to work 10 times harder just to keep up, and at least 20 times harder to get ahead. I would come home from a full day of school just to spend hours every night on homework. My mom would sit with me and reteach me everything I was supposed to have learned in class. I was struggling, but not because I wasn't capable, but because the education system wasn't designed for kids with learning differences. It was exhausting, but I was catching up. By the time I got to a big North Shore high school, I thought I had finally figured out the system. I had my strategies, I had an IEP, I knew my accommodations, so I thought I had what I needed, but I was wrong. My first year of high school turned into a constant fight to receive the accommodations that were on my IEP. I was fighting teachers, fighting administrators, and ultimately fighting a system that was determined to make me smaller and dismiss me as a person. That constant battle was exhausting. It killed my confidence, it made me feel like I didn't matter, and it made me feel like I wasn't smart. Something needed to change. So my mom started looking for solutions, and that's when she found Wolcott. She then said something to me that I've never forgotten. You have a choice. School can stay this hard. You can keep fighting for every single thing, every single day for the rest of high school. Or you can do something hard for a short time and make the rest of your life easier. How do you want to spend your energy? I then transferred to Wolcott in its inaugural year. From the first day I walked in, I knew it was different. I felt heard. I didn't feel like my needs were something to be managed or minimized, but instead celebrated. When I hit a problem, which I did, I knew the teachers and I would work together to find a solution. They encouraged the questions I asked. They assured me that understanding how I learned wasn't a burden, but a skill I would use for the rest of my life. I remember the moment I knew I made the right choice by picking Wolcott. My English class was reading Romeo and Juliet, and my English teacher, Claire Walter, put 2 versions on the desk, the traditional text and the modern version. She said, it doesn't matter which one you read. What matters is that you understand it. What matters is the discussion. And that was it. That was the difference. Not easier or harder, just what do you need to get to the end goal? And that is an excellent description of what Wolcott provided me. The ability to find my way. Because of this school, I know myself and I know how I learn. I know how to walk into any room, any classroom, any meeting, any challenge, and advocate for what I need, and now for what others need as well. And now I'm a special education teacher. I chose this work because I know what it feels like to sit in those classrooms. I know what it feels like to be told that you're not smart enough. I know what it costs a child to hear that. And I know that what it means to have one school, one teacher, one community decide to see you differently and support you. So that's why I flew here tonight. To everyone in this room who has supported Wolcott, you didn't just change my life, but you changed what I do with it. And to every parent here who has sent your child to Wolcott, thank you. You made the right call.